All right. So, Richard, I'm hearing from you then that you believe rates will be going up. They should be going up because we've got the potential for double-digit inflation. So, when it comes to investing, then what does that mean in terms of where you want to be positioned? I'm assuming it's not owning the FANG stocks.
I think you want to be more conservative. It really gets into the financial math. The further out the story is, if it's the company's going to have lunar landings on Mars or whatever, the more as rates go up, the more you have to discount it to the present. So the more speculative a stock is, the more risky it's going to be as rates go up, the more chance for it to go down. So you want to just look for stocks that are, switching back more to value, thinking about things that pay dividends and, have a return on equity, things that you get a more immediate return to you because the present value is going to matter. And that's how you want to think about things. If you think about it, if the cost of capital is, essentially zero, central banks all around the world, heck, in Europe, the cost of capital is negative, you can invest in anything. There's really no downside. There's no cost to financing the trade. But when the cost of capital goes up, now you have to think about it. What's my return on investment? What's the beta of the stock? How risky is this? Am I getting enough of a return to warrant the capital outlay that I'm now paying for? And this is a concept that we haven't seen, in probably a good decade. I mean, if you really want to think about it, you can go back to 2008 when we started printing all this money.
Yeah.
So
but you really do believe, Richard, because this is what's so difficult when we think about investing in our investments, that there will in fact be a paradigm shift, because we've had so many fits and starts with the U.S. Federal Reserve, regardless of who was in charge, thinking that they were going to raise rates, then no, then yes, then no. You think that this is the time it's going to happen?
Well, I think two things have happened. One is inflation has now become a political issue into the election. If there is one thing I would say we didn't anticipate was how, I always thought the Fed was kind of independent. This recent event with inflation going up and the Fed, nobody even questions them. I've now realized the independence is not there. It's far more political than it literally wasn't until senators were complaining about inflation. You had the whole Joe Manchin issue where, he didn't want to do more stimulus. It wasn't until then that the Fed took the inflation seriously. That's when they dropped the transitory word, and so you've got that political element. You also had Powell needed to get reappointed. And now that's happened, so, he's been reappointed, he's got the job. Nobody's questioning, whether or not he's going to keep the job. So, he can be more of an independent thinker because the political side of it has moved more towards proper Fed policy. And the second thing, if you want to get conspiratorial, is the Fed has been revealed to have a trading scandal.
Really?
And I think maybe at the margin, someone out there, somewhere in that institution, was wondering how much policy changes might impact themselves. And I hate to say it, but it's been multiple Fed governors resigning now.
Yeah. What does that mean to our viewers?
I think you got to play it very cautious this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen highs in stocks for the year already. I wouldn't be surprised. You're going to be running into, they say don't fight the Fed. That's, long-standing statement on Wall Street. Mm-hmm. This year, the Fed is telling you we are raising rates. We are reducing the balance sheet. You want to, be buying speculative stocks into that? I don't. I think you got to play it very safe this year.
Just quickly, what does that mean for commodities?
I think we're probably peaking in commodities. I think if the Fed does its job and does it properly, the commodity trade is over, and it's had a heck of a run. But I'm to the point now. You have to show me. I want to see them actually do this, because there's been plenty of chances now for them to address the inflationary problem, and they didn't. So I want to see it now. Show us what you got.
Is there anything you are buying?
Oh, there's a lot. If you want to look, in an inflationary environment, you got to look for companies that have pricing power. I can't get into companies that I would buy, but if you look at the tech sector, right, do you want to own the speculative story stocks, or do you want to own stocks that have, very solid businesses and have easy access to capital, things like that, for sure.
We got to leave it, Richard, we got to leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. This was so wonderful.